Been waiting on that for a while. Glad to see it happening.
There is a man who has started this standoff situation. Neighbors tell me they've even started to hear gunshots over the past hour and a half. If you take a look in this direction, there are multiple cars parked. These are neighbors who tell me they've been out here for an entire workday. This woman in this car says she's been back here since 4 o'clock. The man in this car says he's been here since 8, in and out. The people behind him say that they were trying to take their dog to the vet, and they've been parked back out here since about 3:45. Now, this is a really serious situation here. It all started because a man was posting threats on social media. LaGrange police say they were trying to serve a warrant, and that's what started this barricade situation. We've been out here for about an hour and 15 minutes or so, and we've heard loud bangs. No indication on what that is at this point, but we do know that it has startled the neighborhood. I've spoken to some young men. They say they've been out here for a long time trying to communicate with their mother. And LaGrange police have also said that they want to make it clear no one should be in this area who shouldn't be. If you're not a neighbor, don't come by and try to see what's going on. It's not just for your own safety, but for the safety of others. The main takeaway here is that this has been going on for several hours. The flashing blue lights are enough of an indication. And as soon as we learn anything else about that man's status or anything else of that nature, we'll be sure to let you know. That's the latest from here. I'm reporting in LaGrange.
And again, it was our emergency services unit along with Coweta County, Noonan, and Fulton. Where GBI comes into play is twofold. They have the ability to deal with explosive and ordnance, and as a result of that, have a robot. So they did come in because we had the information or the intelligence that he had some explosives, and so we did utilize in that capacity. And now, as this thing is unfolding and wrapping up, they will be running an investigation of the officer involved. Shooting portion or the officer involved side of it, if you will, while we run our own administrative. At this point, we are extremely confident that he was inside the home, and there's not much left of the home at this point as a result of the fire. So we do feel very confident, that this is coming to a conclusion. At this point, it will be a recovery effort for the remains, so I'm not going to speculate to condition, location, exactly within the home, etc., but we do feel like he was in the home and that this is now kind of evolving from an active incident to an incident where it's contained, and it's now the criminal investigation / officer involved investigation and recovery of evidence and remains.
So you believe the suspect is dead?
We believe he is deceased, yes.
As a result of the explosive that put the house on fire?
I'm not going to speculate that it was exchange of the gunfire. We still, until we know the source and the ignition point of the fire, this is going to be an ongoing investigation. If there's enough remains to conduct an autopsy, then certainly they'll do that. So I'm not going to speculate as to his demise, other than to say we feel certain he was inside the home, and that the situation unfortunately is resolved. In his passing.
Can you describe, since we haven't been able to see the home, what it looks like?
I hate to say it looks like any structure that was the end result of a fully involved flame. The home was absolutely fully involved. By the time it was extinguished, we had to deal with kind of the logistics and the issues of having a tactical team escort fire in.
Many Americans facing food insecurity every day can be a struggle, and according to Feeding America, the struggle is especially real for military families. The nonprofit organization oversees more than 200 food banks nationwide and says as many as 160,000 active duty service members are having difficulties putting food on the table.
Due to the military life and the unique attributes of it, unfortunately, they often find themselves for some period of time, either by choice or by circumstance, living off of a single income, and it's just very difficult to make that happen.
Experts say the issue has been impacting military families for years, but is amplified because of the pandemic. And Feeding America says younger members are bearing the brunt, with roughly 29% of the lowest-ranking troops dealing with hunger last year alone. Military families say it usually comes down to what they're paid.
It really depends on the time in service. Like, I've only been in for 5 years, so The longer you stay in, obviously, the more you get paid. So when you're just starting out, it's a lot tougher.
But heading into the holidays, ongoing inflation is causing the price of produce to skyrocket.
The rising costs that you're seeing at the grocery store, we see the same thing as a food bank, just on a much larger scale.
And food banks themselves are struggling to supply those in need with enough to eat, forcing some to reduce serving sizes or eliminate more expensive items altogether, as many pantry staples are up by almost 10%. Chris DeMeo, Fox News.
Going green will allow Americans to keep more green in their wallets. The green movement also in Congress, where the president's party is inching forward on his nearly $2 trillion spending bill with more renewable energy initiatives.
So it's imperative that the House of Representatives pass this Build Back Better package, because the Senate needs to receive that package and to then pass it before Christmas. I am dreaming of a green Christmas.
But Christmas and other holiday shopping, a real concern for Americans feeling the pinch of supply chain problems.
Inflation that we haven't seen in 31 years. Inflation is a tax on every single American.
Republicans say Democrats should worry less about green policies and focus on legislation that will help lower current prices.
Thanksgiving stands to be the most expensive ever. The general public, quite frankly, is extremely concerned by this.
Some will try to blame the Biden administration for these woes, but let's remember, nearly every part of the supply chain is dominated by private businesses.
Wednesday, President Biden asked the Federal Trade Commission to look into why gas prices remain so high and if it's because of illegal price hiking by oil and gas companies. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox 5 News.
With Turkey Day next week, a new survey finds fewer people will be on the roads due to rising gas prices. According to a survey from Gas Buddy, only 32% of Americans plan on driving during Thanksgiving. That is down 35% from last year. In the midst of the pandemic, 51% of Americans who said they weren't driving blamed the rising gas prices. Now, when it comes to holiday spending, a record-breaking number of Americans don't plan on buying anything this Christmas. More than 11% of Americans say they won't spend anything this season. This is according to a survey conducted by an accounting firm of more than 3,000 people. Experts blame inflation for empty spots under the Christmas tree.
People sure don't know how to drive in Atlanta. Police over there, they done run over the damn stop sign, street sign. What the hell? Huh. Everybody claims they can't afford pre-K. It's for the little kids. Now look at that sign right there. Boy, I don't understand why people make false shit up.
Have rose for more than 2 decades and even accelerated in the past 2 years. President Biden calls it a tragic milestone as his administration presses Congress to devote billions of dollars more to address the issue.
Going green to save you.
Got a little something going on here at the church. I believe it's called Queens. I don't know. I think that's what they're shooting for.